Hi, how are you? I am Jose Santos Marroquin Linares, and I'm with my friend Daniela Peralta. Hi, Dani, how are you?
Hi, nice, and you?
Fine, thank you. Okay, today I'm going to do an interview, and you are my interviewee. I want to ask you some details about your last summer that you lived in the United States. Can you tell us more about?
Sure. Well, I went for 2 months to Chicago, and I stayed with my cousin and his family in Aurora suburb.
Okay.
And I went there to improve my English and also to see him because I hadn't seen him in a long time.
Okay. During how many time did you stay?
For 2 months.
2 months. That's a very good time. And tell us more about the main similarities between the both cultures, the American and Mexican culture, the main similarities that you perceived, observed.
Well, there are obviously a lot of similarities between Chicago people and Mexican people because well most of the people that live there are from
Are from.
Mexico.
Mhm.
That and but they all are also a little bit mixed with other cultures and other countries. So they are mainly like Mexicans, but not if you go there, you are not the same as them because the cultural ideas they have are a little bit different than we have.
Okay, that's my next question. Which are the mainly differences between the both cultures, um, like in communication topic?
Well, I think that the main difference is that they obviously speak more English than Spanish, and sometimes you know that when you say something in English, it might not be the same meaning in Spanish. So I think that sometimes when you talk to them, they might tell you something in English and you understand it like very literally, but it's not the same as like if you say it in Spanish. So that might be like the thing I most important see about what communication difficulties could have between two people talking.
Okay. And my next question is about I am thinking to travel to the United States soon. And what suggestions could you give to me to improve my communication abilities?
Okay, well, I think you have to go with an open mind
Okay.
because they, even if they are very like similar to us, they think very different, and you need to go with the open mind that to understand that they don't have the same cultural ideas that you have, and that they might be different in kindness, not so like
Okay.
Mexicans are very kind and there could be like more cold
Mm-hmm.
because they are Mexicans, but they don't even know everything about Mexico because they are just like the second or the third generation born there. But so they just have like a remain of Mexican ideas, but they are not like a person that is from Mexico.
Of course, I imagine the culture, the way to think, to live, it's
Yes.
mainly different than the.
Even the way to talk to each other, it's very different to how we talk here in Mexico.
Okay, I imagine. Um, could you tell us a fun story, fun fact about the time you were there?
Sure. Well, I remember once I went to Walmart to get some of my things. And the first thing that shocked me was that when I arrived, that Walmart wasn't anything like I've seen before. It was very different to the Mexican ones that are a little bit small, and they have like a lot of diversity of products, but they are small. And this was like a huge Walmart, and it had a lot of things I've never seen in my life, and a lot of diversity of products of everything that in Mexico you have two, and there you have like 10 options, and that was like one of the most shocking things. And I discovered also that the everything that of the food was packaged in a small portions. I think that because of what they live, that everything is like fast and they want everything like easy to consume, they have to well, they buy these things that are individually packaged.
Presentation.
Yes, and I think that's why they are very like, they don't like in Mexico you cook with a lot of ingredients you buy. They just like buy the easy ones you put on the microwave, and that's good for them. And I think that's very different.
Yeah, it's a cultural difference.
Yes.
Like,
Like also it happened to me when I tried to buy a wine. I took it, and in Mexico, well, they see you, and it's like, oh, okay, they pass it, and you just pay, and that's all. But here they were like, oh, can you show me your ID? And it was like,
okay.
oh, it made me feel young, but it made me feel insecure. But it's like, what do you think? But I saw that they are very careful with that, with what they sell and what they sell it to.
Yeah, they have a lot of controls and are very
Yes,
strict.
and I think that's a very good thing of them that in Mexico should be improved.
Yeah, in Mexico we are like, okay,
Yes,
okay,
they even sell to other
okay. Finally, could you give us a conclusion, a general perception, your idea of about the culture, the country, between the American and Mexican culture?
Well, I think especially in these people of Chicago and Mexican people, I think the main important thing is that they are very similar to us because they came from Mexico, their families, their parents or their grandparents, but they were born there. So, or at least they arrived there and they have been living there for a lot of time. So they don't, even if they are similar to us, they are very different because they are mixed with other cultures, because they speak another language. And sometimes when you go there or when you go to zones that you know that there are a lot of Mexicans, even if they are Mexicans, they are not like you that live in Mexico. They have another perspective of life, and they have a very different cultural ideas that we have here in Mexico, even that their parents or they were born there.
Okay, they are our closest neighbor, but the cultural differences are bigger.
Yes, and they come from here, but they are very different now because they live in another country and they have another ambient in their lives, so they think and are very different from us.
Okay, that's very interesting, and I want to visit the States soon.
Yes, you should.
Thanks for the advice, the suggestions, and Danny, thanks for the interview.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much. We see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.